Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spit It Out podcast. My name is Eric.
Ashley.
JC.
And Joey.
Welcome back to the Spit It Out podcast, episode 2 of season 2.
Hey, so happy to be here.
In the flesh.
And in the flesh.
So, welcome. This is Spit It Out. You'll see, the flag, guitar, flowers. Kind of decorated the room a little bit. And now you get to see the faces behind the voices. So, I'm Eric.
JC.
Ashley.
And Joey.
And this is Spit It Out. Alright, so let's get right to it. DC.
Eventful week.
Yeah, for sure. In DC, what a debacle that was.
Yeah, that was a crazy week for all the stuff that happened,
I honestly wasn't expecting it to escalate the way that it did, as in, like, they actually broke into the Capitol. Like, yeah, I was just like, oh, it's just another riot in front of the Capitol. I just wasn't expecting them to make it in and, like, successfully make it as far as they did. Which
Yeah,
I was just like, isn't this place highly full of security guards? Like, this is the Capitol, for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah.
you would think, like, CVS Dove soap has better security than the Capitol. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
You know what's crazy about it? It's the fact that they spend over $4 billion on national security. And there's this meme that I saw. It was like, basically what I just said. U.S. government spends about $4 billion on Homeland Security and all that. Mm-hmm. And Duck Dynasty took it down in 2 hours. Oh, man. But, yeah, it's fucked up. It's crazy.
None of them were armed, were they?
Yes.
Yeah, they were armed.
Some people
yeah.
were armed.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them were, yeah.
I couldn't tell.
And they said down the street there was homemade explosives, about 11.
Right, I've heard
And
of
it could have been worse. Like, who would have known that, it could have gotten, like, way worse than that. And we could be having a different outcome right now.
that. And then you got property that was taken out. There's that... I've seen that picture circulating around, and again, it's a meme, of one guy that's smiling as he's taking the podium that has, like, the seal of the President of the United States on it, and then the following picture, him clean-shaven with a jumpsuit. Like a mugshot, kind
What
of.
I think is crazy is, like, the FBI is like, oh, we can't find these people. I'm like, you can't find these people? You, the FBI, can't find these people? I was like...
There was video that people published, or either, like, after recording or as it was happening live, of people saying, yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this.
Right.
And it's like...
And they didn't have masks on.
There was no admittance, or there was complete admittance.
Yeah, and I was like, none of them were wearing masks. They're like, hey, here's my fucking face. And you're like, we can't find them, guys. We just can't find them.
Well, they don't have the name. They don't have another thing, just the face.
No, they were, like, in interviews declaring themselves. Like, they were like, I'm
yeah.
so-and-so, and I'm in the White House, and I'm the White House. I'm in the Capitol, and, like, we broke in. And I was just like, no one's doing anything.
You know what?
to stop
Honestly,
this.
I'm hoping that nothing happens with the White House at this point, because who knows if they got that far in the Capitol. I mean, I was scared at the fact that they got into individual rooms, and I think they were having some kind of conferences in some of these boardrooms. You can hear people on the opposite side of the door.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy also? I was watching this, when the cop, he was backing up because everybody was coming towards him. He
The
was
black
like
cop?
afraid. I was like, holy mackerel, like he was really just backing up, like he didn't know what to do. And the worst thing is, like, there's no backup. Where's all the other security?
So I was talking to my dad, and he was telling me, because my dad does a lot of fact checking. He does his research on things, so he's my reference, I guess you would say. And he was saying how, like, the Maryland government were on standby, ready to have, like, state troopers and National Guard roll in there to either defend or take back the Capitol. But they never came because the person that was supposed to give them the okay never gave them the okay. So it makes you think, like, oh, is this like an inside job?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I don't
Right.
know.
Right now, I see that the Washington Monument temporarily shutting down due to credible threat because of the Capitol mayhem, and then now until Biden is in office, the FBI warns armed protest will be planned in all 50 states and the Capitol just till this is over, because that's insane. I was just like, we're gonna have other presidents that we're gonna agree and not agree on. So, like, why are we just causing so much mayhem? Like, regardless if Trump would have won, he can only do 2 terms. Like it's not like you can go one more time. Like, so I just don't understand like people's logic.
Here's the thing. So, well, two things. Regardless of who became president, whether it was Biden or Trump, if Trump won, I believe there will be protests from all the minority groups, right? But I was more worried that if Biden won, because the minority groups don't have guns, they don't have ammo and all that crap, but Trump supporters do. So Biden won, and now Trump supporters are protesting, but they have guns. So I was like, it's gonna be so much worse.
You mean by they have guns? What, like with them?
Yeah, like
With them carrying them and everything?
handguns, rifles.
Yeah, because also I saw this guy, you know, like he was backing up with a knife, like Rambo style, like huge knife, like, and he was waving it against people, you know, like, don't get close to me and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, these guys, they don't want to joke.
Yeah,
Well,
that's nuts.
We have 9 days, basically till inauguration, and it's just it's gonna get. I feel like it's gonna get more intense as the days go on.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't spread anywhere else either. I honestly, the day after, first of all, that night I couldn't sleep, and then the next morning I'm like, I don't want to call out for work, but I don't know what I'm gonna see out there.
Yeah.
Especially when I know that there are a little bit of everybody, you know, that I pass every day.
It's on a Wednesday. Thank God I don't work.
This is the thing. So like, I see your point, Joe, but at the same time, it's like, odds of them going to a small suburban area.
Well, I'm saying like if it inspires other people to do their own thing,
Yeah, that might happen.
because they could tackle local government too.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of things that can happen, you know.
What do you guys feel about Trump being impeached? So I think right now they're gonna do the 25th Amendment. So maybe so he's gonna basically still be there until inauguration. Unless they find him guilty, then he won't be able to.
But what
rerun
really
again.
means the 25th Amendment? What it means?
So that means
I'm looking it up right now, actually.
Yeah, because I don't know what it means. I have heard many times.
It says so the first part of it mentions that it basically puts the vice president into the place of the president if the president is either removed from office or resigned. They have to put these things in place
yeah.
to make sure you dot all your I's, cross your T's.
And if Mike Pence, wouldn't have done the if he doesn't do the 25th Amendment, then Congress has to step in and they have to go further with the impeachment, and then he can't rerun again or anything. So basically, if Pence does it now, which I think he did, because I saw a few of Trump's speeches while I was at work. Well, I couldn't hear it, but saw a few of that.
I mean, honestly, let him be in office for 9 more days. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
All
Just
hell
around the
breaks
corner.
loose. It's the worst decision of their life. They're like, what the fuck did we do?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think any legislation is going to pass within a little over a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it takes time.
It's mostly just going to be damage control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I said this before privately, but the thing with the whole like Trump supporters and why they're so, I feel like not reckless, but so passionate is the fact that before Trump, obviously racism was never gone. They were more low key about it.
Right.
And then Trump with his Twitter and speaking wherever he wants to say made those supporters believe like, oh, if he can do it, we can do it.
It makes it sound like it's more accepted.
Yeah, because if our president can do it, then we can do it too. And then a lot more hate, a lot more judgment and things like that. And then next, Capitol Hill is taking over.
Yeah, but think about it. On all the nations, there's races. All right. My nationality is Mexican, and there's not another race. I mean, another races more stronger than Mexicans against Mexicans. They put you down. You don't do things supposedly the way they're supposed to do. They put you down, seriously. And especially more than family. It's always the family that is putting you down and everything, So I don't.
Yeah, we're not the only country that's racist. Like there are other countries that are way more racist. Like even my own culture, like Dominicans, like we range from white to very dark, and they discredit the dark people. And I'm like, they're still your people. They're still the same people. We're in all different shades. And they make you feel bad for being dark, and they think you're less of a person just because you're darker, and it makes no sense. But it's mostly the colorism that it's in most, like in African countries, in Caribbean countries. it's a common problem. But like when I see like the racism here, I'm like, I'm already used to it because I'm like I've dealt with it from my own race and shit. I'm like, I was just like, people think it's only America like that's like that, but I'm like, no, there's places that's
it's
worse.
all over the world. It's not just here. I've seen it in person also in Mexico. Growing up, people used to be racist with people from the little towns. They were like, "Oh, you poor" or whatever, like they're always been racist to them. Even in Mexico, there's locations where they don't speak Spanish; they speak the the national language. That is Nahuatl. It's called Nahuatl. They're really, really racist against them. They treat them bad. And what is the point for that? We're Mexicans. We all were born in the same country and everything, so I don't see the point sometimes. It's like we're here. Wherever you parents came from, wherever, you guys were born here, like her. She was born here. Joe, you were born here. I don't know, your parents were born here or probably immigrated. I don't know. But me, I'm the only one who's outside. I wasn't born here. And I still get a lot of races, even at work. At work, a lot of people are against me. I'm not saying my co-workers, but people I serve, I attend. Sometimes I see myself as like, if I let these people to really hit me with the words, I'm never gonna do anything either for my life. So I gotta stand up for me. Yeah, but I was also that was really funny. When now I see it's funny because that day, like you say, took over the Capitol. I was like, damn, this is really what I messed up, for the rest of this month or whatever, till the other president takes power on the country. And I was like, but now I see all those videos and everything, and I start laughing, because it's funny how they were starting climbing on the walls, people falling off the walls.
Wait, when the world is to shit, the internet's the best place ever.
Oh yeah.
The memes.
I think we mentioned this before.
Yeah, the memes are just amazing. Like everything when things go bad, memes just happen to come by to like sort of make your day better. And I just lived for the memes of like obviously it's a terrible situation, but like the memes sort of like
smooth it.
It's like a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's really good to cope with. And like the internet, like I love going on Twitter when shit's going bad in the world because one, I got all my memes from there, and just like people's commentary, and like I love watching reading comments on like either TikToks or YouTubes and stuff, like, and Twitter. Like that's usually the first thing I jump into is the comments because it's just so much fun.
And the world's got eyes on us too. I mean, we're not the first government where everyone is not in love with the leader itself or tried any kind of revolt against it. I don't know if we've been, I don't want to say successful, that's the wrong word, the most invaded of it or, anything like that, but it's still a thing that everybody's watching. It's not just America, and really what it really puts everyone else in, it puts a different perspective on it where it's like, well, if they can't handle it, what do we do about it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a shame though. It's like, regardless, it's tough because different groups, people, someone's always going to look down on you. Someone's always going to try to put you down, make you feel subpar to whatever level they think they're at. It's a shame because it shouldn't matter, what your financial situation is, who you love, what you look like, what you believe in. I think it really comes down to whether or not you're a good person. Spread positivity, be kind, be respectful to one another. Obviously it's easier said than done, but it's just a shame to see because now I'm thinking about this whole DC situation, and it's like, God forbid it was a Black Lives Matter protest storming the Capitol building, all those people would be shot and killed. There's no, I don't think.
It would have been a massacre.
Yeah, it would have been blood everywhere, right? But because it was a large group of white people, I feel like only 4 casualties was the minimum they kept casualties to a minimum. I mean,
and who were how they were killed? They were shot by the cops or
one was shot in the chest.
Yeah, that
by
was the woman.
Yep.
I think they were telling her. So some stories they said that they were hearing the cops inside, telling them move out the door, kind of stuff, and like she still, I guess, people still stood there, and then they just shot, and then she got shot in the chest.
I mean, as they should. Like, this is a Capitol building. It's not a street down Philadelphia or Boston.
Like, you went at your own risk. Like, you knew you could get killed.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna storm the White House and I got shot. Well, why'd they shoot me? It's the fucking White House.
Yeah, like
what do you expect to happen?
a lot of people were like, so there was like on Twitter, they were divided because people were like, obviously, like a lot of white people, they were feeling bad for her, and there were other people who weren't sympathizing. And I was on the boat where I didn't sympathize with her. I was just like, well, you shouldn't have been stupid and go storm the Capitol. Like, that you should have known that this was gonna happen. Like, and people were like, she was a vet, and you know, now she
Oh yeah, the background was what won people over.
yeah. And I was just like, don't care. And I heard that there were other people from Senate and stuff from other states who went to the same thing to go. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're representing the.
So the people from other states came to the same protesting thing, everything.
Yeah, there's some people like, and some were like in.
Yeah, when I see this, I wonder how the hell you get the invitation. Like, okay, this day and this day we're gonna be here.
It's a cult.
Yeah, because I didn't get mine. Nobody mailed me or text me. Or...
Maybe it's like
sweetie,
maybe it's like
sort of
maybe it's
the
like
descriptions.
maybe it's like the Area 51 storming, and it's just like a big Facebook event, and everyone signed on for it, and nobody showed up.
Oh my god, my favorite meme. My one friend, he made a meme, and he was just like, we could have stormed Area 51 if we had enough Trump supporters. And I was just like, oh, that was true.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I kind of wonder though about like
what will result in that.
No, I mean, getting back onto it about like, okay, a couple injuries that we know of so far, but there were still people running in after that, you know, after things like that lady that was shot. But I kind of wonder if maybe some of the police held back because of, you know, the previous year and being judged for brutality. But at the same time, that's your job. Your security. You're trying to defend this place from.
All I know is if it's my job to defend the Capitol building, and people are storming in, I'm not gonna let them just walk right through like it's Disneyland.
Yeah.
All right. One admission, you're good to go. That's not how it works. And obviously the whole reason for protest, I know I mentioned Black Lives Matter already, but the whole reason for protest is two separate things. One's about equal rights, one's about democracy. Right. The Trump supporters believe that the counts were rigged, and you have the right to believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to get into that, but it comes to a point where you have to draw the line. Like, there's certain things that you should not do. Don't storm the Capitol building. Don't loot, riot, and cause a mess. Say what you want to say in a peaceful manner, and that's it.
Yeah, but there's never gonna be a peaceful matter because everybody has different opinions, and everybody's gonna try to fight for their own right. You know.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's what it should be doing.
If you cause too much destruction, you're going to miss the message.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not going to be delivered. It's just going to be they're vandalizing.
Yeah, and then eventually, like,
and that's what it always happens.
If those things keep happening, we eventually could lose that right and then have, like, martial law put on us and stuff where you don't even get to express, and we'll be like other countries that...
That's kind of how we started.
Yeah. Who, you know, I feel like we're sort of heading down that road again, which is pretty bad because, you know, I do love, you know, as an American, I love that I can just post, you know, what I like and talk about what, you know, like if I feel like, oh, this is, you know, wrong and kind of shit. Like,
yeah, you can have a free opinion about it.
Yeah, like I can have the free opinion. Like I went to Ethiopia, and when I got there, first of all, the service, I had to pay $15 per gigabyte. And I didn't have any service, and even to like send a text message was about $9. And I was just like, why the fuck? And I had a hotspot and everything, and I was just like, I don't understand. So I went to one hotel, and the service was really bad. And I remember I was just trying to get in contact with my mom and my boyfriend, and I was just like, I fucking hate this. So I went to a Best Western, and I was like, I don't care, but just pay extra. And when I got to the Best Western and I had Wi-Fi and stuff, I'm like, why can't I still couldn't access like social media to at least contact my mom. Like I couldn't contact her, and I went downstairs. I'm like, hey, like I can't use my social media here, and I was just like, I just don't understand. And he's just like, oh, it's because of the government. And I was like, oh, I was just like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then he told me, he's like, you have to download a VPN and all this other stuff. And he was just like, we're not allowed to have social media because no one's allowed to talk about like what the government does and all this other stuff. And I was just like, and when I was in China, obviously I know about China, so it was like the same thing. And I was just like, it was like pretty insane that they're that constricted. Like the government can give and take when they want to. They're like, we had Facebook for like a week and then they took it away from us again. And I was just like, that's fucking insane. But
meanwhile, here we have free enterprise where anybody and many companies set up different ways of communicating.
Yeah.
And you got freedom of the press where you can exchange that information back and forth.
Yeah.
To however you need to.
And what you think about Trump being censored from Twitter and all other platforms?
About time.
What do you mean about time? That's why we were here, like free speech.
Yeah, but
so why?
He was orchestrating chaos.
Yeah,
Look,
whatever. But it's still
was-
free speech.
No,
you breaking that.
But no,
it's
as
different.
a president,
As a president, you the amount of
But still
power,
a human. He still have a thought.
your
He's still
role.
doing his things.
if he's doing apprentice and doing his businesses that all get bankrupt, whatever, say whatever you want. But once you're labeled as the president of the United States, there's a level of responsibility in principle that you should have.
and he took an oath to protect the Capitol, to protect the White House, to protect our
Yeah,
nation
and
and,
you-
stuff, and he's orchestrated chaos.
You can't say something like, "Oh, when the looting starts, shooting starts," and then the next thing you know, when the not White House, oh my God, when the Capitol building is attacked, he's like, "Don't worry, we love you guys, just go home." What the fuck is that?
His own speech.
What?
His own speech.
No, because he was.
That's why sometimes I don't get with this country, seriously.
It's
So some people has the right to say this, some people has not the right to that, and some people has the right to censor this, some people has the right to put up this.
It's because he's favoritizing the Proud Boys because
Everybody does in certain ways.
No,
I
because
think it's more about the authority behind it, where it's like I could say something about that on Twitter, and it could just go into the ether. Maybe a few people see it, but everybody has eyes on a bigger figure, a celebrity,
But
a
he's
politician.
he's the president
That's-
of the
yeah.
United States. You can't get higher than that. And to say things that he's saying without really thinking, it just causes chaos. If he tweets saying, "Oh, about to send a nuke to Iraq," they're gonna fucking send one back, thinking he's being serious.
yeah,
You can't say that.
I don't know.
There
I
are-
just think that is messed up.
Well, there are like people that work at companies, and they'll usually have it in their bio to say, "Views and opinions are my own and not reflective of who I work for." And they'll share their own things or make something inspired by it, and that's their business. Sure. If Donald Trump wants to have his own Twitter and keep it aside from not have the presidential label with it, sure.
Sadly, you can't.
Then he could say something, and that just that's what he thinks.
yeah.
But in this day and age, social media like Twitter and Facebook is as much a communication as going on TV and having a speech, or
Telephone.
or a telephone, or like the fireside chats of previous presidents. It's still going to be heard by the masses. It's still going to be understood and possibly excite people.
Yeah, because like when he took oath to be a president and stuff, like so when Obama was president, like his Twitter is
The
POTUS.
man. I love
that
him.
man.
Love him.
Fucking, I love that man. His Twitter handle was POTUS. It wasn't Barack Obama. President blah blah blah. It was literally like it was POTUS. Like he's the president of the United States. Same thing. Even with Donald Trump, he's not on his own account anymore. He had to go onto the
You see-
POTUS one for the president.
Because this is something I don't get into my head, okay? Like Eric said, like before, okay? On this thing, he say, okay, when we start the looting, we start the shooting. And now he's saying, like, okay, everybody go home. So probably in that moment, he say something that he was feeling in his heart, in his mind, or whatever, he just let it off. Now he's trying to act like a normal person, okay, you know what, you just should go home and blah, blah, blah. And every way, it gets close. So, no, he has the right to say something better, and people is still criticizing him.
Because he's
No, it's because he's favoring the white people.
Wherever
And
he is, he's trying to say something nice now.
No,
He's
because
not.
if it was a Black Lives Matter or some type of protest that had to do with people,
But
of
it
color,
wasn't. We cannot be putting if it were.
But-
Okay, it wasn't. It was this one. It was this one. Perfectly this one. Okay, the other ones were behind. Okay, back in the day, you could say, okay, it was because it was this
So are you
BLM.
saying-
Now it couldn't be this, and why they...
Are you
Okay.
saying he learned from his mistake?
Yeah, everybody learns from mistakes.
He did.
You're a human.
Not him.
Why not him? He's a
Before-
human. He can
I
say.
don't think it was in the best of words.
Yeah, it's because even before he said Proud Boy, like when Biden won, he said Proud Boy, stand by, and because obviously like this was gonna lead up to something, so they can, because there's even articles of him where he tried to, he wanted Pence to keep him in office as long as he can, and Pence said no, and he put him in that situation to be at the Capitol when the riot happened, and because it was just an article that said Pence and Trump meet face to face since the mayhem happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was because he's trying to have his own agenda and stay in office, and then basically try to, maybe become a dictator kind of stuff. But he talks to his Proud Boys like they're his babies and stuff, and he knew who was outside for him. So it's not like it was just like, if it was the other way around, he would have been like, shoot him. He wouldn't even care. He'd be like, if you guys are gonna stay outside, they're gonna shoot you, kind of stuff. Like, he probably would have said that. It's not like he had to change
But
of heart.
it wasn't that fact.
Because he orchestrated it. Didn't you see the videos of him watching it all go down?
Yeah, it's like everybody. It's like everybody's gonna recording some things right now over here. We're recording something, and probably all of a sudden we start fighting for something. And okay, someone else outside recorded it, and we cut that from our feed, but the other person is gonna post it.
Kind of think of it in like a different perspective, a little bit lesser degree, but still the similar premise. Say there's a celebrity. They have a lot of followers. They have people that are big fans of them, that they support everything that they do. But the celebrity doesn't get along with someone else. If they call them out, those fans will go after that person themselves. Even if the celebrity and that person never meet face to face, they will get harassed. They will get bullied by other people just because somebody was at the forefront. They spearheaded it.
It's cancel culture.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think is the same? Is it right that because some people don't agree with that comment, you're gonna attack everybody like 100 against 1 again? So what kind of messed up is this thing? Even with the artists, they're happening. She was showing me something yesterday from this artist. Just because she got a little heavier, everybody's attacking her now. So what the hell? Where's your proof to love? A year back, you were, oh my God, this is bebés and blah blah blah. Idolizing this person. And now because he got a little pounds on it, is this worse? So what the hell? So all the time it's gonna be the same thing. Back and forward, back and forward. When someone does something according to your ideas, oh my God, you're the best. But if that person, for any reason, did something wrong, now is this.
But he's known to spread hate and to
yes,
spread.
he's known to spread hate or whatever.
But
because
it doesn't mean
it's
he had
always,
a change of heart.
it's always that the fact that they always put those things for him.
He's been petty since Biden won. Maybe even if there was cheating or not, like and stuff.
And who didn't? All the past, I remember since I got to this country, when the Bush with other, it was the same thing.
Clinton.
They posted how many days I don't remember, but they're counting the votes. They did it.
Yes.
I remember that because it was all over the TV news.
Did any of them express themselves as like Trump?
Who knows? Who knows?
What do you mean? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And the wrong person's there. Maybe because it wasn't publicity. Maybe because he wasn't play this game, like this guy is doing it, or someone else is doing it for that. I'm not saying that he's a perfect person. No. Everybody has a heart. Everybody has a mistakes. Everybody does. But everybody's already attacking some person. You think all that 30 million people hate on him is not gonna overwhelm him?
He knows what he got into. He
Everybody.
he should have never ran for president if he didn't know what he got into. Like, he should know, like, what you say has consequences. Everyone knows, like, you have their actions.
Everybody has their own things in this.
And the shit he says isn't acceptable. It's not acceptable. When he started xenophobia against the Muslims and stuff with Mexicans and the building the wall and stuff, like, he has done nothing but spread hate. Like, you can have this agenda and stuff, but at least learn how to carry yourself. And, as a president, as a leader, like, you can be the most corrupt person, but, like, I feel like if you handle yourself with class, or, like, the way that all other leaders have spoke, like, other presidents, like, Obama, he could have been, like, he could have done, like, probably the worst shit compared to, like, Trump and stuff. But the way he carried himself and the way he spoke, people just didn't really bat an eye to it, really.
So that means that for do things, you need to show up a nice person, and back in the ground, you're going to do all the shitty things?
But
that's what you mean?
No, oh my gosh.
That's what you mean? You need to perform a nice person in the front, like a priest in the church, and then the back is doing the bad shit?
There's a certain reputation that you have to uphold as a president.
Not everybody has a clean reputation. Nobody. everybody you
Yeah,
can
but when
dig
you're-
up,
when
and
you're-
you're gonna find all the dirty clothes.
I get that, but when you're at that level of power and how many people either take you seriously or not, you still have to watch what you say, do, and you can't just say whatever's on your mind, because then chaos happens. Hence, DC. I'm not saying like, look, I mean,
When he was releasing hate to like Muslim people, his supporters were attacking Muslims and going to the mosque and vandalizing them.
Yeah, and when he was saying something bad things about Mexicans, okay,
They were attacking.
See?
They were
Exactly,
attacking
when
Latinos
attacking
too.
Latinos.
And when
But
COVID
thanks God,
happened,
that didn't happen to me. Didn't happen to my family. Didn't
Okay,
happen to their friends.
and-
So I cannot support that.
I understand.
Hmm? It's like my mom tells me sometimes, "How you doing?" I say, "I'm doing good because everything looks shitty here in the TV news." I'm like, "Mama, if something will be wrong with me or around my family or around where I live, I will let you know. But I cannot tell you things are worse because I'm not living that.
Right,
Thanks God."
it doesn't affect you directly,
Hmm?
but it still affects your people.
And eventually, it will affect you. Like it's not just because it missed you this time doesn't mean it won't get you the next time.
Like, who's to say, you know,
God forbid you don't want it,
you
yeah.
walk down the street and a group of 3-4 white people who are diehard Trump supporters see you and they start jumping you and beating the shit out of you just because they think that you're part of.
Anyway, they would have done it.
Anyway, so I mean, it's like I was telling this to my sister the other day in regards to this same topic. It's that because she was asking like, what brings people, like, how do you get to that level where you're attacking people or breaking into landmarks and stuff like that? This is what I think. I believe if you believe in whoever you're supporting, whether it's a sport team, celebrity, like kind of what Joe just said,
Right.
if you are 100% with them no matter what, whatever they say, you're going to think is right no matter how wrong it is, and you're going to follow suit. If you look at, in the history books, what Hitler did was all the issues. So World War I happened, and Germany was in a depression times 100.
Financial ruin.
Like, people were starving, no one had jobs and all that. Here comes this guy who said, I'm going to bring us back up. I'm going to make this country better. This, that, and a third. And they started, people started to rally behind Hitler, right? And then, who was his target that he said the problems are from the Jewish? And whoever believed him, no matter how evil as it was, history, obviously concentration camps and all that stuff, awful situation, awful thing to be, supportive of.
Storming Poland.
So all these awful things happened, but it happened because they believed in him so much that what he said was the truth. Like, I'm gonna bring us back from a depression. Problems that we're having is because of Jewish people. They're like, all right, makes sense. And then there it goes.
And he didn't even force them either.
Yeah, he didn't put a gun to your head and say, go
Yeah.
kill
Just
these people.
like Trump didn't put a gun to
Yeah,
their
but
head. But
this has happened through its history. When England came to these lands, they wiped out all the people, the locals. When Spain came to Mexico, they wiped out all the locals. See? When Portugal came to Brazil, they wiped out all the locals. So this has been happening for centuries. See, this is nothing new.
It doesn't make it right either.
See?
Doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it
Yeah.
right, but they do it.
But I think
You see?
this generation is trying to make a change and not letting that happen. And even in other countries, like, the current generation, they don't, these things aren't right. Just because it keeps happening doesn't mean that's right. So, people are like, oh, millennials and Gen Z are so sensitive, but it's like they're trying to put a stop to the wrong shit that's been happening for so long. Like, yes, they can be sensitive and stuff, but they're just saying like, hey, that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. So, a lot of, it's our future.
Yeah,
All these other people are like, eventually they're gonna die or all this other stuff. It's our future. It's the Gen Zs. It's, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna call the next generation, and it's us. This is our future that we're trying to build, and these things aren't okay. We're trying to put a stop to it.
Look, obviously, we can't control how other people feel. We can't. It's not like there's a magic button, like a Thanos snap of the finger that okay, all evil's gone, right? That's not
Never
true.
gonna be gone.
I think change has to come within yourself first. If you can live positively and try to be kind to one another and stuff like that, then that's the most you can do. Control what you can control, right? So it's not like we're going back to the topic. It's not like you know, the Trump supporters were told, oh, if you don't do this, we'll kill your family. No, they did it because they believed in our president. And they believe that things were rigged in the election. That's why he lost. They believe him so much that they're willing to fight physically.
They were trying to give justice for Trump because they thought it was rigged.
Mm-hmm. And going back to the whole Hitler thing, he blamed the Jewish people. I can't remember one time Trump ever saying anything nice about minorities of all kind, whether you're Chinese, Mexican, Dominican, Muslim.
I mean, there was a good while that he just called the coronavirus the China virus, wasn't there?
That too.
Like, it's just their fault that we're all stuck in this.
It was actually funny. It's not funny at all. I don't know why I said that. But back when I was working in New York, there's a girl there that, we talked a little bit, but she was also Asian. And she was explaining to me, I mean, I didn't feel this way personally, but she was telling me how, like, when she's taking a subway home, she's scared because she's Asian, is that she might get attacked because of people thinking the Chinese virus or whatever.
Because they were attacking them the first, like, once, I think when...
I wasn't, but...
Yeah, once we hit, like, I think when we were shutting down and stuff, then I saw, like, a whole bunch of news of people just attacking Asians for no reason, and, like, elderly people and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But, because it came from China, it's just, like, they standardized, like, coronavirus equals the Chinese virus kind of shit, like, it's so...
Right.
Messed up.
Like, if we didn't have this here, we wouldn't have this happening.
Yeah. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Mexicans, we would still have jobs. It's so many different things that come from it that aren't right. I don't agree with. And if you think about it, let's say, for sake of argument, let's say all the Mexican people leave, and now all those jobs that they do, white people are doing. A little carton of grapes is going to be like $50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, I'm working way too hard, and I'm not getting paid enough, and a lot of them are gonna quit, and we're gonna be paying overpriced for, like, the simplest
There's
things.
a reason for these things. I'm not saying it's right, and it's like, but it's the way things go.
Yeah, well, that's how the economy works. That's how capitalism works, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. Because everything moves around.
Yeah.
But that's why I didn't.
You can get yourself out of the bottom. Like, it's not like that's your forever thing. Like, everyone evolves from, you know what I mean? But regardless, these jobs have to get done, and it pays the bills, and it gets you food on the table for your family, so you do it.
Right.
Especially, like, if you just came to this country and you're just trying to, like, get on your feet kind of stuff.
And that's why I never understood, like, when Trump was pushing, I'm going to build a wall, and I'm going to make them pay for the wall. I'm like, why are you kicking these people out? Like, don't you understand basic economics? Like, if they're gone...
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're going to pay $50 huh?
It didn't happen. That was just propaganda for the elections. That was all. You see, one thing, and I remember this perfectly because I watched it. All right, he say, there's not gonna be no free green card for Mexicans or for any immigrant that comes here illegally. There's not gonna be what's the name? The food stamps. How you call it?
Food stamps.
Food stamps.
Food stamps and the free welfare or whatever. And in my head, I was like, well, I didn't come for those shits here. I didn't even know they exist. All my whole freaking life I've been supporting myself, you see? And I say it with pride. And I'm going to tell you this story because this happened to me. When my wife died, I went to the Social Security Agency because of my kid to get her pension for my kid. The person there, she asked me, you were married to her? I said, yes. And she is like, and I need your Social Security. I say, I don't have one. She goes, but you were married to her? I said, yes. And she goes, she got cancer. I said, yes. How did you support all this? I said, because I work and I pay for it. And she goes, so you never went for to apply for food stamps or any help for your wife? I say, no. And listen to me. And she goes, wow, you're the first one that's saying that it feels proud that you pay for everything. And that's good, but you also messed it up. I say, why? Because if you wouldn't have gone to any of these agencies to ask for help for your wife, they wouldn't have given you a social security number, and right now you will be getting the pension from here. But now you're not getting anything. The pension is going to go to the government. And I was like, oh, that I didn't know. But for me, I didn't come to get things, and I always tell her the girls, I don't come to get him. See? I came for guy because I wanted to have a nice life. See? So when Trump was saying all that bullshit, well, I don't need it. See? I don't need it.
I understand. I mean, look, I admire you for your hard work, and not many people are like you, whether they're white or minority. It doesn't matter. Not a lot of people work as hard as you do. That's awesome for you, but at the same time, there's other people who depend on these programs to survive. So
Yeah,
when
it's
you
not like
attack that, it's not like, oh, it doesn't affect me directly, so I don't care. I understand that, but at the same time, like, it's not just you, it's the whole picture. Like, everyone's going to be affected, and then, you know, once people can't survive, can't eat, can't, you know, work, that's when they go back to their survival instincts and start robbing, doing whatever they can to survive,
Yep.
and then all hell breaks loose.
Right, the welfare.
That's why you need this. Sorry, but that's why you need all these things. Not just not for you, but as in general, you need those things in place in case someone needs it to stop
Yeah.
society from collapsing.
because
That's the whole point behind
my
it.
mom had 2 jobs and just to put food on our table, and we had welfare. And my mom wasn't just hanging out; she wasn't partying or anything. She had 2 jobs, and she was trying to support me. And the welfare helped me with my asthma, with my medical insurance, and the food stamps. And we didn't collect anything else, but that was enough. Like that, at least my mom didn't have to worry about how I'm gonna get food. Like she literally we had our food stamps, and that fed us for the month and stuff. And my mom could, you know, not worry like, oh my God, where am I gonna get food? Or like if I got sick, like even though she didn't have health insurance, but I did. She was just like, at least she's okay because she has asthma, she has all these problems and stuff. So it's not like, you know, everyone goes to use that to abuse it. You know, like people actually need it.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, control what you can control, right? I said this before. You know, if you try to be a genuine good person, I'm not saying gotta kiss ass to everybody, but when you can, be positive, help one another, be kind, be respectful, good things will come. And as long as you can proudly say that you lived your life to the fullest and at the most ethics possible, that's all you can do. And hopefully your kids follow suit and so on and so forth. But so I've heard some things also about the whole DC thing where it's almost like an inside job, and that comes down into like conspiracies.
Right,
And-
about people disguising what they're supporting and trying to
Yeah.
make others look bad because
Right.
of it. And I've actually seen news segments where they break it down by the evidence that they suggest and show that no, these were people who are adamantly, passionately part of this. They've been in other rallies that supported Trump, so it's very evident that this was as it is. I know not everything is, but
Are
this
you
is one
talking
of those
about
cases.
the guy who people thought it was Antifa, but it's for Quan?
Yeah, that
For
one
what?
too.
Well,
Quan. Yeah.
you know, the one I mean in conspiracy surprised me is the Simpsons. You know, I don't know why, but every time they say something about conspiracies and they put the scenes on the Simpsons, like this episode right now in the Capitol,
Yep.
like the guy is still in the podium.
It came up at
Like-
2017 episode, and it's
Pretty recent.
yeah.
Yeah, like the guy like with the Viking suit and everything, you know, like Homer on the top of the house, you know, with the rifle and everything. I'm
That's
like,
an Operation Day.
I'm like, damn, like, and they put it in the front, you know, like this was here, like that. I like that, you know, I like that.
It creeps me out, but I love conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I'm a conspiracy whore. Like I love that shit. Like I stay up all night and I'll just go like out in a loop on just like different YouTube videos, and then just like it's never ending.
This is how I feel about all of it. I just want
Yeah,
to
there
rip
we
the
go.
band-aid off quick, all
I'll
right?
get the hammer.
Conspiracies and all that stuff. I think it provides a simple answer for complex questions. Okay? Like, oh, how'd they get into the DC so easily? Well, it's inside job. Well, I guess that makes sense. Okay. No. And then I've heard other conspiracies like the whole Simpsons thing and all that. Another one, rest in peace, but back when Kobe died, they said it was all planned. You know? Anyway, so that's just my thought. I don't believe in it. I think it's just a simple answer to a complex question. That's what I think. Same thing with
You're going with the Occam's razor, as they call it. The shortest answer is the one that makes the best sense. Where it's like, if you have to go through hoops trying to explain something, then it doesn't sound credible, or it's like harder for people to understand that, and then people don't believe it.
I guess. Or
it's like, this is A and B.
Look, I mean, things happen. Reasoning behind them, we'll never know. And it's like, even with news, it's like, I feel like, yes, there are a lot of factual stuff out there. At the same time, sometimes facts can be bent, twisted a little bit, to support one side over the other.
Yeah, there's definitely bias with it. Unfortunately, not every news network is going to give you straight facts as it happens, or even the entire picture of it. That's happened for decades, where it's like, oh, before we put this out, just gonna cross these things off the list. Literally put a black marker over them, and this is the part that you can say. Good Morning Vietnam. Perfect example of that. Also, Robin Williams. Just to bring it back to something we talked about before.
But it's just tough to believe. Like,
he doesn't like to do his research, because when people explain things to him, I'm like, he's just like, he doesn't want to research it himself, because he just doesn't believe it. But if you believe in science, right?
Yes.
That was a long pause.
Yeah, I was just like, why the dramatic effect? So you believe in science, but how do you think those people got their answers?
Research.
Okay, but not all research is right. Because, again, things are edited and things are bent for you to believe one way of thinking. And that can't be true as well, but you believe it because it's said that because it's science and it's right.
Here's a famous example. I'd love to give the proper credit to it, but I do remember reading this when I was back in middle school about the scientific method. What are the steps for it? How you get to a conclusion? How this becomes a more accepted truth on why something happens the way it does. It used to be believed. I mean, you could go literally all through history, and you could see, why does this happen in nature? Why does this happen between people? What happens when, these things interact with each other? And people try to explain it. But they didn't have all the facilities, and they didn't have all the ability to break it down to see, like, oh, these are how these interact, and because of this condition, this is why it happens. One that comes to my mind from what I learned in middle school was about why are there flies flying around a piece of meat, or like a deceased animal? Some people thought that's where they came from. That there was something about the meat itself that was spontaneously generating new, maggots, new flies, and that's just where they were spreading out from, as opposed to attracting to it. And we know that's not the case. It's not, if I see roadkill on the side of the road, it's not because it just breathed new life.
Yeah, I mean, how should I put it?
It's also like aliens.
Well, okay, you're saying that.
That's a big step.
Look, I think in my mind, I put possessions, ghosts, supernatural, conspiracies, and Illuminati on the same group. Simple answers to complex questions. But if I read it in a history book or something, I believe it a little more personally because it's in front of me. I can see it.
You can see the internet. You can see the website.
Yeah,
you
but you
rely on the source.
You can't take every website as truth.
No, but that's why you go in to do more research. It's willing on you if you want to go. Because I don't just go like, oh, that one website and believe that. I go and I keep looking to other sources, and I go through videos, and I go through books as well. I don't just go through the one.
Fair enough.
Okay, so let's say right now, okay, conspiracies and everything. Okay, let's say right now, the president is a puppet. He's being manipulated for everything, as a conspiracy. Just to see another face of the USA.
Right.
So.
I believe that.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
That could happen.
That Trump's a puppet for Putin.
Because every leader is a puppet. Biden's also a puppet. Like, he's eventually, we don't know for who, but every president is a puppet. Like, most.
Yes, I mean,
celebrities.
yes, the president isn't the end all be all. Like, I say this happens, this what goes. No, it has to go through steps.
Checks and
Congress,
balances.
checks, exactly.
But who do you think they're answering to? The elites. And the elites are the Illuminati.
And actually,
Alright.
big corporations too, because big corporations, those are the ones that drive the country.
It's true.
Without them, without the big corporations, there's nothing else going on.
That's where the word lobbyist comes from. Because these people are supporting me, I better do what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and for example, I watched this video. Also, it says that the government is not gonna make you take the vaccine. It's the corporations. Because if you wanna have fun,
You need the vaccine.
you need the vaccine.
wanna travel?
You wanna travel, you need the vaccine. And it's not the government. It's the corporations.
They make money.
It's
off
the
you
corporations that
buying
are gonna say,
Yeah.
okay, you can do this, you don't have this.
You can
Are the
put,
corporations the ones are ruling them? That was a very example. It's not the government either.
you can put that on the economic level. You know, there are shareholders that are funding a company in order to keep it going and
See, and that's
making it everybody wins situation. But you have to rely on the decisions of the shareholders to say do or don't this, or use these materials in your product versus these materials.
yeah, that's a kind of conspiration too. Everything is
Even-
conspiration.
Even if we bring it a little bit more modern day, Patreon, perfect example. People are funding to support an independent creator and whatever pursuits that they have, but they still get some leeway as to what they want to see, by what they pledge, Kickstarter, a lot of different crowdfunding sources, a lot of different ways that people are always influencing each other for what gets put out there.
In the end of the day, I do believe, everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe in. If you want to, believe these theories and all that, that's fine. But that's just not me.
These things affect you. Like, you might not see it as affecting you, but eventually, like, all these things affect you. Like, Kobe Bryant was just a basketball player.
He's the GOAT.
Okay. But, him dying affected you. You don't know him. He doesn't know
I was
you.
very upset.
Okay. But again, these things affect you and stuff. And like, I like to know, like, especially because not just our country, all over the world, there's so much corruption. I like to know, like, what's going on. And I like to, dig here and there to see, like, because again, we're living in this thing. And like, can I make a change? Probably not. I'm not stronger than the government. I can't do any of those things. But I don't know. I sort of just like to... I like to know about everything, so I also like to educate myself on stuff, because it sucks when you're not current on things that are going on that could affect you, and you not knowing. And yeah, it could be something so crazy like Illuminati and shit, or like the elites, and stuff like that. But I like to sort of just know about like everything to...
You ever heard like people saying, "Oh, I sold my soul to the devil to achieve this goal, that goal,
Yeah,
whatever"?
like most celebrities.
That sounds. Do you know how crazy that sounds?
You're supposed to sell your soul at 3 a.m. That's the devil's hour.
You hear that from a movie? Because every scary movie says 3 a.m. is the hour.
No, because that's actually the thing. If you actually read it in Bibles
God.
and you read it in books,
All right, first
and
off,
you read it in...
religion is the biggest contradicting thing in the world.
Because it doesn't make sense. It's because we're humans, and I can imagine what the celestials and angels and stuff, I can't imagine how complex they are. But
I mean, you know how crazy that sounds? Like, oh, I met the devil, sold my soul, and now I'm a professional musician.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
go ahead, try it.
No.
Why?
You
It
don't
doesn't
believe in
exist.
it.
You don't believe in
it. What's the problem?
Sell your soul. You'll get famous. You'll get the money. Sell
You
your
don't
soul.
believe in it.
Anyway, so it just sounds ridiculous, though.
Regardless if it sounds ridiculous, it's still,
I mean, it kind of does work like religion, because it's like people want to know. Oh, he's not breathing anymore. He's dead. I can't talk to him. He's not going to talk to me. Where did he go? What happened to him? Oh, he went to some place where his, everything he did in his life was judged, and based on what he did or how he affected other
Yeah.
people, it's one place or the other.
I mean,
or in between.
with religion, it's like
That's literally bringing it down. That's what conspiracy theory could be like.
I see the value in religion in regards to like if you need an answer to help yourself feel better, fine, right? But then it's like
What religion you grew up in?
Catholic.
Catholic?
Went through CCD. I'm a confirmed Catholic and all that. Haven't been to church since 8th grade. But it's like, I don't know. It's tough to say and believe in something when one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill. And there's multiple events in history where religion was the reason why you're killing one another.
It wasn't religion. It was the men. Men who didn't understand religion. Men who want power.
You know, human are savages naturally.
Yeah. Don't ever
and
blame something
you
like.
need order. That's why the Bible was there. We needed order because you can't just. It can't be a fucking free for all because this world will
The
look
Ten
way different.
Commandments are basically set laws to help keep people in check.
That was before it because the book breaks up from the Old Testament to the New Testament. In the New Testament, the Ten Commandments are a little bit more lenient because we're not in the same times. Like you're not supposed to be mixing fabrics and stuff like in the Bible. Like it's considered wrong. You can't be wearing makeup and all this other stuff. But in the New Testament, it goes with what's current with our world kind of stuff. So like it's not like because how many people commit adultery? How many people don't steal? How many people don't kill? How many people don't use God's name in vain and pretend that they're false prophets? Like all those things. Like it's to put order because you can't. Everything needs order. You get a new dog, you have to train that dog, or it's gonna be wrecking everything. It's gonna be breaking everything. Peeing, Chickadee and Jade, they're gonna be breaking everything, and they're gonna be ripping it. You have to put order. They have to learn, and like have. That's what basically it is about. Like
you found a new government and you're like, okay, well, we don't want to be like what we just went through, so let's write up a constitution. These are the things that we can or cannot allow people to do,
and
or these are the things that we can control.
Yeah, and the people who rebel are people who wanna one up and have their own control.
And in this case, for me, the big thing that humans has is free will. With free will, you choose. See, it's like I back in the day I used to think like this. I was like, all the bad things that I have, I learned them for myself. I never blame someone like, oh, because of you I became this. No, I learned from myself because I want to, and that I accepted all the freaking time. I got into alcohol, all my bad habits. I did it for myself because I wanted to find out how I feel. After that, I got hooked up. I continued doing the same thing. I got hooked up. So who was gonna free me? Me. If I wanted to.
Yeah.
See? So it's the same thing. Everything is free will. Everything is what you choose.
That's what you believe. But there's also people who cry to God like when things aren't going well. Like, oh God, why did this happen to me? Why would you plant like people do that too.
Yeah, but who put the situation on that? God or themselves?
Think of it like The Sims. You have a computer, you have a whole bunch of people that can still run around and cause a muck. But you can still pick up people here and there and make them do whatever, or put them in a certain house or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're still going to be running around. They're still going to have their own thing going on.
Well, there's another theory, speaking of video games and stuff.
There's a simulation?
Yeah, we're in the Matrix.
We are.
Alright, I'm done. Good night. Now,
You don't believe that? I believe so.
No, I mean... Here.
Wait, when is 2021?
It's Tuesday, the 12th of January, 2021.
No, what?
How
was the question?
How many days till
Okay.
21?
How many days until 2021?
It's 353 days until then.
When the ball dropped at 12:01, it did a glitch on this. It did a glitch.
oh my god.
So why is Siri fucked up then?
Because she's
Google it.
stupid.
Go ahead, then use Google.
We are living in 2020, the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when the ball was a minute late. So that means we're basically...
So we're glitched to a different dimension now.
We're in 2020. Yeah, it's sort of regulated.
We're still in 2020.
We're in 2020. Didn't you see? It's another year.
All right, good night, everybody.
Whatever.
I mean, the word assimilation is a pretty old philosophy. Again, going back in my school, in philosophy classes, there was a person known as Descartes, the same one who created I think, therefore I am. He basically conjured that what if everything you're having around you is a projection? That the only thing you're doing is running thoughts through, and there is something that you're hooked up to that's just putting it out there. Like I there are definitely times where you feel like that, where it's like you're so tired, you're so fatigued, the only thing you have running is your brain. Your body's just already in motion to whatever you're doing, and you only have your thoughts, that you can call your own.
Here's the thing too. It's like I'm thinking of other examples where like you ever had that you have like a deja vu moment. You feel like you've been there before, and people are like you have because you're reliving your past lives just with different people, or something crazy like that. Whatever.
It's also an intuition.
I do believe in deja
Like
vu.
deja vu is like because like if it happens, you're like I saw this before, and it's because it already happened in your head, kind of stuff, and then it.
I get deja vu moments all the time, and I feel like a lot of these things they just pick such generalized occurrences that everyone can have and make up something to go along with it. Like, oh, it makes sense.
No.
Yes.
Literally, after I have a dream, I'm one of those people that Google it. I'm like, the fuck's going on? Like sometimes I have very vivid dreams, and I'm like, freaks me the fuck out. I wake up like in a night sweat, and
I've had a few dreams that repeat every so often, like every couple months or on 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And some of them actually are pretty happy dreams. And the funny thing is that the same dream that I'm about to talk about, I've shared with other people. They have the same understanding about it, and not even the fact that I saw you in it, but like the same concept was there, and it's a very specific concept. When I talk with other Lego fans, it is actually just known as the dream, either in quotes or with a trademark, just to be funny. It's almost a memory, but it could happen during sleep. It is a memory of going into a store when old Lego was available on the shelves. Clearly if we go now, we're not going to see the same stuff, but yet we have such a vivid picture of what that is like. I don't know if it's all memory based or if we've seen pictures and video from online or from something else, but it seems so clear. And it's still a shared experience that it's like, a lot of us can understand that even if we've never faced each other.
that's also like people like when I see memes or like stuff on TikTok where everyone has in common, and everyone's just like, oh my god, we have the same childhood, kind of stuff. Like, like
very specific examples of things in
like
school.
Your parent hits you or something, and everyone shuts the door, and they're like, motherfucker, and they're like, what'd you say? And you're like, and everyone's just like, there's other examples where everyone's just like, we had the same childhood.
I knew I had.
But parents disciplining their kids physically, that's a common thing to happen.
You're that guy today, aren't you?
I'm just saying, it's like saying you ever walked into a room and forgetting why you went in there to get something. Oh yeah, I've done that. Oh well, it's because Neo in the Matrix is clicking you to go there and forget shit.
You probably right now in the Matrix, you're like, I don't want to be here.
Twitching.
I'm already.
Have you ever had a headache? Oh yeah, I've had a headache.
I
Oh well, that's because
Those
a
are common-
virus.
No, you fucked. Those
Okay.
are common as fuck. It's like
Everyone picks. All of these things happen from common things.
Oh
I'm
my
looking
God.
at a more specific example,
Same.
and you could probably explain this away of why it's happening like that, and if anybody can do that. But here's one that I found, and you might enjoy this because it's Avatar related.
Like Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Side note: the movie sucked. Sorry.
Once again, when I was young, it says here, when I was younger and I was in the shower and this happened, I thought I was a full-blown waterbender or Aquaman. It's a picture of somebody that's holding their hand out. Shower head is right near them, either on their head itself or on their body. And then on the ends of their fingers, it shows little trickles of water going throughout that.
I've done that.
Exactly. That's
That's not a common thing. I didn't see them. I didn't care for the movie.
Or they might not. Some people probably just take a shower. They won't even think about it or never exposed to that.
Yeah, that's like
Okay.
okay, but you said it's a common thing. And
Yeah, how many
just like-
people like the movie or not the movie, the show Avatar? How many people watch that?
Now?
It's been around for so long. They might, if you've watched the show, you might have felt that.
Yeah, I watch Goku also, and I'm not trying to make a Kamehameha.
or have a Dragon Ball Z and shit. But like, I gotta fucking find them.
Yeah.
See Krillin and
Fuck.
shit and Goku.
I still think it's common. It's like common sense. Not everyone has common sense, right?
No, what's
Everyone-
common sense for you is not for me.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
For sure.
That's
But,
the
like,
difference.
I don't know. All baseball players, you ever have a slump and then you do your little superstitious thing and you get out of the slump? Oh yeah, I've done that. Well, you're not gonna know that because you're not a baseball player. But you know how many baseball players play baseball and might have experienced the same thing I
But
did?
you said it's common. Like, oh, do you ever have a headache? Like, yeah, everyone fucking gets headaches.
And then you just name something
Lack of
niche.
dehydration. Yeah.
Here's another one. What's those little like mini goblin things that you mentioned?
The what?
Gnomes.
Oh
Midgets?
yeah, the ones that we saw the video
Oh,
of.
duendes.
Oh, this one, this.
Like that, I think is ridiculous.
Even though they're caught on camera.
Like you can edit anything. You can edit anything to make it look like it.
You know what's funny?
And the examples that you say, remember when you lost your keys? I'm like, yeah, I lost my keys. Like, well, they took it.
Well, I was joking.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna take you again back to the park. Remember that day? There's two ways of the travel, up the river, and we went the other way.
Oh yeah.
Remember by the little waterfall?
Please take him at night.
By the little waterfall.
What park?
In the park when you went the bike and I was running.
Oh, when I was struggling to exercise? Yeah, okay.
By the little fall where you wanted to have a rest.
Yes.
Take a break.
Yeah.
Remember the bridge?
Yes.
And we went the other way.
Yeah, we went left.
Okay, so the other day when I did my 60-mile run, I went to the other side. And up a mile, there's this little place on the tree where they have the gum house. They have the little things and everything in the park. And we're like, what the hell is this? Someone set up a little sanctuary for them over there.
Yeah, because you give offerings.
I swear, I was going to take a picture, but I didn't stop. Yeah, I'm not going to take you there.
That would have been bad luck. Please
I'm
take
gonna
him
take
there.
you. I'm gonna take you there.
Take him at night.
Yeah, I'm going to take you there.
Take him at night.
I don't know.
I'm going to take you there.
Like I said, I'm big on seeing is believing. If I've never
Okay,
seen
so
these
what
things.
if what if you have a pet? Usually animals can see these things. Let's say this is a
That's,
haunted
I've
apartment.
actually experienced that.
Okay, but you don't see it there.
I was scared
but the
shitless.
pet does. The
I
pet,
was scared shitless.
but
I
your
didn't-
animal sees it. You don't. But you believe that there was something there. Why?
Right.
I believe my
Why?
dog's nuts.
Oh, really?
I experienced this. I was house sitting for a friend. Long story short, I was watching TV, and the dog got up and started growling, barking, and everything. And the couch was against the wall, so I know there's nothing behind me. But it was looking behind me like there was something there. I slept with the lights on. I was terrified.
Why? Why? There's nothing there. Why?
Because the dog was freaking out.
Okay, so you put the dog in a cage or in another room. Why are you still freaking out? Why wouldn't you sleep with the lights on?
Because I was scared.
You psycho fuck.
Because I was scared.
He's
Because
scared of the
In the
truth.
circle, folks.
I was scared because the dog was freaking out for no reason. I'm like, what's wrong with this fucking dog?
What if you're taking care of a child? You know, one of those. There's always that kid in the scary movies. It's like a 5-year-old. He's like, "You're gonna die in 3 days." What about one of those? Let's say
I'll
you're
punch
taking
that kid right in the face.
You wouldn't be scared?
I'll leave the house. I'm not staying there.
Oh, why?
Because the kid's nuts.
I think you're just one of those people that you're scared.
I think
scared
the
to
perfect way to say it is, I don't believe it, but I don't want to get proven wrong either.
Why?
You guys are crazy. That's why.
Well, you have said like you want the see to believe sort of thing.
Yeah. So why?
Like getting the word of mouth isn't enough.
Yeah. So why are you so? Because guess what? When you say it, no one's gonna believe you. Something happens to you so outrageous. You know, no one's gonna believe you. You're gonna have one of those outrageous stories where it's like you had to be there. Like you're gonna be like, I saw this creature, and we're like, yeah, okay, Eric. And you're gonna be like so pissed because
I
no
saw
one's believing
Bigfoot.
you. Yeah, who cares? You could have saw
That's
it.
also fake. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and all that.
If multiple people see cryptids at different times and have
What's cryptid?
cryptid is like mythological creatures, ones that haven't been fully proven, but
But to exist like Loch Ness monsters.
yeah,
Mhm,
not
yeah.
not like your standard classified animal.
Chupacabra.
If multiple people see it and they give similar descriptions, but never converse with each other,
I
what does
didn't
that
see
mean?
it. I didn't see it.
You see, and this happened to me, and I wasn't drunk and I wasn't high. All right.
I wasn't high, I swear.
See, that
I
day
did not inhale.
it was around like 10 p.m. I was at this party with my wife and my family and everybody. So my wife is like feeling tired and everything. I was like, okay, so let's go home. We got home. I take Loki out in Passaic. We had the front porch of the house. I take Loki outside. My neighbors on the other side, they're drinking. And I see there on the porch, I see it. And I'm looking up the sky. It was cloudy and everything. And when I'm looking at, I see this freaking huge human version with a long tail and wings flipping. And I heard the noise. Vroom, vroom. And it went by and I was like, what the fuck
The New
is
Jersey
that?
Devil.
I look it up and they say it was a New Jersey Devil. But it was seriously, it was like, the human body was like 6 feet long with a long tail. And the wings, it were huge.
Question. How do you know about the Jersey Devil?
I've heard about him. We're in New Jersey.
Interesting. You believe it?
I
Nope.
saw it. I saw it and I saw it and I always gonna say I saw it.
I believe you, because I don't think you would lie to me, but I don't believe it's real because I haven't seen it.
Uh-huh. And then when you see it and you try to tell us, it's like the boy who cried wolf. We're like, we're not going to believe you. You don't believe in anything. We're not going to believe you. You're making this up. You're gonna feel so frustrated. You're gonna see, and then you're gonna be that guy that goes, "I believe in everything."
From that moment on, every time I'm outside, I always look up.
I'm that guy in the movie that doesn't believe anything, and when they do, like, oh fuck, you guys are right.
Let's say your light switch is downstairs, and you're about to go upstairs. You turn off the light. Do you run up the stairs really fast before the ghost spirits get you?
As a little kid,
Oh yeah.
That's a common thing. And no, you don't talk about that with other kids. You do it because you're scared and you think there's an
No, I
actual
did
monster or
because my
spirit.
dad showed me scary movies as a little kid, and I was terrified.
Okay, but not all of us had that experience, but we still do it because we all had the same childhood.
Something that you're just moving around objects. That you're just seeing things in a different way than you normally do.
You ever misplaced something that you thought you had somewhere, and you couldn't find it? Well, it's like, I don't know.
You're that guy.
Yep, I
You're
am.
that guy today.
I am
I'm
that
gonna punch you in
guy.
the throat. Oh, we're gonna play Ouija board on the next episode and let a devil possess you.
Okay, let's play it. Joe's like, wait, what?
We're gonna let a
I
demon
could think
possess
of one or two special guests that would have a thrill with this kind of stuff.
Right, same. I have fucking shit. We could have 3 guests for this one. We'll be like, yes, can you please possess Eric because he doesn't believe you're real. As everything flips over and shit.
Even that, believing that little stones give you certain luck.
They're full of energy, and they're not all for luck. There's some for health, there's some for love, and there's some
Repulsing
for
negativity, increasing positivity. Yeah, I get it.
I didn't believe in the crystals, and then it worked for me, and it worked for him because he didn't believe it either.
When'd you work?
What?
The one with the money, right?
No, it was
Did you say the money crystal? You like one shift you made like $200-300?
Well, no, yeah, I had a few crystals that day, but the first crystal that Elle gave me, so I was having a shit.
Oh, the black one.
Yeah, the black one that broke in two. So Elle gave me a rock, and it was, I was just.
just a boulder.
It's a rock, a beautiful rock. But she gave me, I was going through a lot, and she was just like, "There's bad energy at your job," and this was before COVID and stuff, and she's like, "There's so much bad energy there, like they don't want to see you succeed." And I was just like, "No, like I don't think it's that. I don't see that." You know what I mean? Like, she goes, "No, trust me." So then she always talks about crystals and stuff, and she gives me one, and I was just like, whatever. No, she made me hold one of her rocks, one of her crystals, and when I touched it and I gave it back to her, she goes, "This is really hot. Like, you need a protection rock." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was just like, "My hands are like regular temperature." And she goes, "No." She goes, my rocks were cool. If you give it back and it's really hot, it's because your negative energy went on my rock." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to taint your rock." But and she was just like, no. So then the next day we worked together. We didn't work together. We just, hung out. She gave me this black tourmaline, and that's a protection rock. So she goes, "Just put it in your pocket, and trust me, it's going to make a difference. Like, it's just going to make a difference. You're going to feel better and all this other stuff." So I was like, whatever. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not a person to judge you on whatever, but I'll try it out. I'm not a person that, I like to learn. So I was just like, whatever, I'll just have this rock. What is it going to do? So the next shift I went to work, and usually like at that time I was getting like really terrible shifts, and I was getting terrible sections, and at work people were like fucking me over at the time. So I was just like, because of seniority and shit, but when she gave me this rock, my section was different and stuff, and like I wasn't really expecting it. I was like, whatever. And then I kept this rock in my pocket. It didn't fall or anything, and when I took it out, it broke in two. It's a solid, hard black rock, and it broke in two. And I texted her. I sent her a picture. I'm like, "Why did this thing break in two?" And she goes, "It took a hit for you. Someone wanted something negative to happen to you."
My bad.
What?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, you suck of shit.
You're like, someone something negative happened. I'm like, yeah, that's my bad.
And she was just like, someone wanted something bad to happen to you, or they're just jealous. She goes, she goes, people being jealous, or like the evil eye, or people not wanting you to succeed is a thing. And I just sort of never believed that. So I was just like, okay, like, but this rock broke in two. And I was just like, what do I do now? Do I throw it away? She goes, no, it's going to still protect you and give you hits. So when my rock broke, I gave it to JC. And when I gave it to JC, well, you could tell them your experience.
Okay, so she gave me the rock, and I think it was like 3 days later. I was carrying and everything, and in the morning I was getting ready to go out to work, and I go and I look for the rock, and it was totally pulverized. It was totally destroyed. What was it?
You heard that too, right?
Was the door? Let me go check on Miranda.
If not, I hope it's a fucking spirit trying to go get Eric.
You heard that though. That was weird.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear it. I don't believe it.
He heard it.
Nope.
Alright, so she gives me the rock, okay, and I think it was like the third day. I'm getting ready to come to work and everything. So I go to the place where I put it, and it's all pulverized. It's all destroyed. And I call her because I was like, "What the hell is this? Who smashed it?" And I call her in the morning and video chat her, and I show her the rock, and she goes, "Wow, I didn't think it was hitting you too." I was like, "What do you mean it was hitting me too?" And she started telling me like everything like it was happening. I was like, "Oh." After that, she gave me another piece, and this is the funny thing because I wasn't paying attention to it. Maybe like you say, I don't have it in my mind now. I have it. At the middle of the shift, I felt my leg like it was getting hot, and I grabbed the rock. It was in my pocket, my back, and it was hot. And I gave it to her, and she was like, "Holy shit, this thing is really hot," and it really happened.
But yeah, so like I said before, I've said this already. Believe what you want to believe in, whether it's conspiracies, religion, or anything else that floats your boat. And as far as the whole situation in D.C., please don't partake. Stay safe. Remember, Corona is still out there. Wear your masks and practice good hygiene, cleanliness, and things will work out.
Also, guys, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Spirit Out the podcast. All right, and
Which will be linked right down below.
right down below, exactly. And this is the first time also showing everything on video.
And we thank you guys for watching this. Now you get to see what we look like and what Spit It Out is.
How we think and everything.
Yeah, and I know I'm a non-believer, so don't hate me too much.
We still love him.
She's lying.
I lock my doors.
A lot of information's going out there, and things have been debated for a long period of time, and what's real, what's reliable. Some people would say we're in an information age where there's so much of it that spreads around. Make sure you do your research, check your facts over, and come to the conclusions as closely based on your information as you can.
And obviously, everything that we talk about in this episode and for future episodes, take with a grain of salt. Be kind. Don't take us literally, about any topics that we talk about.
Don't send hate if we're talking about a specific person in a situation. Don't go sending hate to the president, even if we, if we don't agree with our views and stuff. Don't ever send hate on, people we bring in the topics and stuff, That this is our opinion, and you're allowed to have your own opinion.
So at the end of the day, stay positive, spread positivity, do your best to make your life better, and then help others as best you can as well. So thank you for tuning in, and we see you guys soon. Peace.
Later.
Later.
Bye.